Alright guys, so as you can see here, I've got a pretty good array of cases. Most of these cases are Spigen cases because I really like them as a company, but I've got a few other cases in here and I'm going to talk about everything that I've got on the table. I went with this particular selection of cases for a couple of reasons. One, because I value the actual size of the iPhone 6 Plus. I do enjoy the way it feels without a case, but as I've told you before, I have to have a case because it really would bother me if I were to get like a scratch or a dent in this aluminum. So it's important that I protect the phone for resale value and for my own personal sanity. So I wanted to get a case that was lightweight but also was fully functional. That's why you don't see something like, say, an OtterBox on this table, because for me an OtterBox is not a good option because it's a little bit too bulky, even though it does offer maximum protection. Another thing that I wanted was a case that had decent rigidity, but something that was molded to the phone and fit really well, because again, the way it feels in the hand to me is very important. This is already a really large device, so if you add a case to it, you're actually taking it out, ever so slightly, and it makes it feel that much bigger and that much less comfortable to hold in the hand. And holding it is important because this thing's going to be with you all the time if it's your daily driver and you want it to be as comfortable as possible. So that's why I went with the case selection that I decided to go with. Again, these cases will run you anywhere from $10 to about 60 bucks, and I'll try to find prices for all of them. Some are currently unavailable, but I'll go through, because my goal with this video is to show you the best case right now for the iPhone 6 Plus, in my opinion, as we head into the holiday shopping season, because I know you guys have probably got iPhones coming in the mail and you're looking to order a case, and I want to make sure that you get something that is worth your money, because I know how hard you work, if you're anything like me, to get your money. So let's start with the cheapest case of the bunch, and that will be the Spigen here. This is the Slim Fit A. It's a really nice case. It's made of like a hard plastic, but it's still got the form, fit, and function that you would, that you value from Spigen. What I like about this case the most is that it does have window protection for the Apple logo that's on the back of the phone, so that's very nice. It's the only case that shows the window, or shows the logo, that has actual protection there, and I really dig that. I wish Spigen would have done that with the rest of their cases, but I know why they didn't, because this particular case doesn't offer any air cushion technology. So this case just gives you basically scratch resistance. If you drop it, you're going to be in big trouble, because as you can see, the top and bottom are fully exposed. Let's pop this guy on, and I put it on a volume button toggle switch first, like so, and then it just snaps in, and it fits really thin, really nice thin profile. But again, the bottom of the phone is fully exposed, and so is the top. This case, in my opinion, is not much better than a skin from like Slick Wraps or somebody. The only difference is that this plastic is slightly more rigid than, say, a vinyl sticker wrapping would be. So that's the first one. And we'll pop it off. It's a little hard to get off because it fits so flush and so tight, but it's a great case choice if you don't drop your phones that much. All right, the next least expensive case is probably going to be the Slim Armor case, which is this one from Spigen. The pros of this case is that it has a kickstand and it has dual layer protection. The con is that this window is exposed, so you could damage the Apple. This kickstand, being a pro, is also a con because it's a plastic and kind of flimsy, which I'm not really happy with. And that's pretty much it. It can be slightly slick, but overall not too bad. And inside it does say air cushion technology, and what that means on the higher end cases is that basically if I were to drop my phone in this case and it hits either way, the shock would go through these indentation lines, and it should disperse throughout the whole device, and hopefully not damage the device. So that's the idea behind air cushion technology. And I've dropped the phone since I had an iPhone, I guess 4S. I started buying Spigen products, and I'll tell you, some of it's marketing, but this actually does work in practice because I've dropped it and not had any issues. Same rules apply. The only difference is that this being a two-part case, it can come apart. So you can pop everything out, and you technically can pop the kickstand out also if you want it. But you've got a really rigid piece of plastic here, and then you've got a rubber piece there if you want to put it on in two parts, or if you want to put it on as a set. I showed in my unboxing of the product putting it on in two parts, so I'm going to just apply it in one part now. Same thing, I always go in with this side first because it's got the most buttons, and then I just push everything around. Case is on the phone and looks pretty good for the most part. I like this look. It's nice and thin, but again, it's not nearly as good a feel as you get with the thin fit, but you do get more protection, and you also get the addition of a nice kickstand, which is very nice and actually very functional. So it works really well, and it stays put, so it does do its job very well. And when you finish, you can just snap it in, and it should make a gratifying noise. So there you go, and you can see the Apple logo through. The other thing about all of these cases is that they do offer flash support and camera lens support for the rear camera, because it does protrude on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. A lot of people don't like that, especially when they lay their phone down on the back, but any of these cases you will not have an issue with that because it does protect that camera just fine. And this case, I want to say, will run you anywhere from, I want to say, like 16 to 20 bucks, but it's a 16 to 22 bucks. I'll find the price and put it in the video, but it's a great case option if you know you want something that protects a little better than the thin fit, but also, you know, gives you a couple more options. The next least expensive case out of these is gonna be either the Platinum or the Slim or the Tough Armor. Let's go with the Platinum case right now. This is a nice case because it gives you a nice kind of suede insert there. It's a two-part case, and I've had these for Android and other phones. All of these cases, by the way, are glass and other screen protector safe for the most part, especially if you go with something like a Zag. And I haven't tested the iLume yet. That's a full face screen protector. I'll get to that. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't received it, but as soon as I get one of those, I'll be testing it. But if you get a normal screen protector for these, glass or other, that just fits the primary amount of the phone, what you normally apply, you know, contact points if you will, you shouldn't have any issues. Because one of the things that Apple did with the new phone is rounded the glass, and it does make it hard for other screen protectors to adhere. So that's why they look a little short around the edges. But the good news is that they do all work well with cases. This guy just snaps together like so, and it looks really good in there. It's a nice color. I like that blue, but it's a really good feeling case, feels really thin. I really like this case as a great option. I picked this one up at Best Buy. You can pick it up at Best Buy. This one's my nephew's primary case, and it works well. Nice soft touch material, and it adds a nice amount of grip that this case, and to be honest, neither of those cases do. So if you like a nice feel, good grip, this might be a case for you. And if you're old school, or even if you just like, say this phone's too big and are scared of it bending, this case also comes with a belt clip. And the cool thing about it is that the phone can go in either backwards and just push to clamp it in, and it's locked in, and you can adjust this clip, or you can do the same thing from the front and have no problems, get full functionality out of it. So it's very nice if you want to use it, and it's also got that nice suede-ish material. And I can't remember what this case cost. I want to say it was right around 20 to 30 bucks, and you push it right here and it separates so you can slide it in and out. But again, it's another great case option from Platinum if you're in the market and want something with a belt clip possibly, or a more satisfying soft touch feel. Next up is the Tough Armor from Spigen as well. Same kind of features as the Slim Armor, but you do get a little bit more protection. You get risers on all four corners here. You get the same cheap kickstand, but it does function. You still get an open window, but the buttons, everything about this case feels a bit more rugged, and it also is 2 parts. And once you take it off, and it's a lot harder to break apart, which is maybe a good thing. I'm fighting with it to get everything pulled out. There you are. So you can see the inside. Very nice, hard piece of plastic, and a much tougher piece of rubber, in my opinion, than what you get with the Slim Armor. Just go in the same way we went in with the Slim Armor and the Thin Fit A, and it's in just that quick. And it fits really nice, nice profile, feels as close to an OtterBox as a non-OtterBox case can feel. It does feel substantial, and it feels like if you drop your phone in this case, you're not going to have any issues, because you do get a little bit of added protection, especially on the corners, which is really nice, and you get the raised back as well, so you can sit it down. No problem. This is a really nice case, one of my favorites. Let's talk about another case, and we can do these at the same time because they're pretty much interchangeable. Right here we've got Varus and the Spigen. This one is called the Iron Shield, and it says it on the actual case. So it's called the Varus Iron Shield. Let's get a better look there. And you've also got the Spigen Neo Hybrid, and this is a die-cut aluminum. I've worn both of these cases. I like both. They're very similar. They have their own versions of impact disbursement, but they're pretty much the same. Everything about them is pretty much the same. I think that the Varus is a little bit better machined because it does have the logos and everything and the words etched in here, whereas on the Spigen case it's just stickers. Both of these cases run you anywhere from I want to say 15, give or take, to around $30, depending on when you buy them, where you buy them, and they're both really nice. The Varus offers more protection, I will tell you right off the bat, than the Spigen does. It's just a really malleable, thin piece of rubber, whereas the piece of rubber plastic that's in the Varus case is a lot more rigid. The aluminum, in my opinion, is better on the Spigen because it's got that nice sheen on both sides, all around the edge, which is really nice, and you don't get that on the Varus case. There's also a slight gap on the Varus case that you can see when the phone's in, and I'll pop the phone into both so you guys can get a look. And that could or could not be a deal breaker for you. But as you can see, there are some of the differences. The Varus is on top. It has machined out the holes to match the speaker, whereas there's just a line on the Spigen case. Both have comparable ports otherwise. I will tell you, I did get some issues with reception with both of these cases. It wasn't a deal breaker, but I did lose a bar of signal, and sometimes people did report having a hard time hearing me, especially when I was in places where AT&T's coverage is not very good. So if you live in a place where you run into reception issues quite a bit, you may want to pass on these two cases because they may not be for you. Pops on really easy. This is the Neo Hybrid. It's the thinner of the two, and I really like the way that it fits, but again, it does still add that extra bulk that you may or may not like with no kickstand and no protection of the Apple. You do get protection for the camera because it sits flush, and all of your ports are like so. Very nice looking though, especially around the edges with that shiny die cut edge. Very, very nice case, as long as you can deal with the slight signal loss that you may run into. Another thing I want to definitely tell you guys is that Spigen's button tactileness, the tactile nature of the buttons is so much better than the Varis. And the reason that is, and I'll show you guys, is because Spigen was smart and they cut out these buttons, as you can see there, and it makes a huge difference when you're pushing the buttons. It's just a much more tactile feeling, and the buttons work all the time. I'm not trying to get it to work. I just lightly press it and it's there. The same cannot necessarily be said for the Varis case, which I'll try on right now. But I do feel like this case protects better because, again, this plastic rubber, this piece is a lot tougher, more sturdy than what you get with the Neo Hybrid. Both cases go together the same way. You basically just line them up and start pushing the pieces in. And you just gotta be real careful and work them in. Take your time. Don't pinch the case, and slowly work them in, and they'll all pop in. And it feels really good. It feels different. Feels a little more bulky than what you got with the Spigen. But just keep in mind, and I can show you guys, there is a gap right there. You can see my finger through it. That may be a deal breaker for you. Nobody will know it but you. And the buttons don't press nearly as easy, which for me is kind of like ill. It's got those really mushy buttons, and I hate mushy buttons. So that could or could not be a deal breaker for you. It just really depends on your style. All right, the last case and the most expensive case is the leather case that I have. That's the actual Apple case by Apple. And I want to say I spent $49 or $59 for this case. I have to look and see because I got it from Best Buy. Nice quality case, feels really good. Nice small case. It really doesn't add anything. The only issue with this case is, again, if you want full protection, you're missing the bottom. It does do one better than the Thin Fit A and give you top protection, but you don't have any bottom protection, and you may or may not be able to live with this discoloring or fading over time, the leather I mean. The other thing about this particular case is, again, this is more just scratch protection. It does not give you any added rigidity, and if you drop it, it's probably going to scrape it up and it's not going to look as good as it does now. You also get the embossed Apple in there, which I think is nice because it should be directly over the Apple on the phone. And I think this is really cool because it shows that it's an iPhone from the back without actually showing the iPhone through the little window. So I really do like that a lot. All right, now to the hard part. Let's talk about which one of these cases is my daily driver and why. Right now, and I do change. I've worn all these cases for at least a week in and out having them, and I like all of them for different reasons. But if I had to pick one that I would ride with all the time of these cases, it would be the Thin Fit A, and it's the cheapest case of all of them, which is sad. And the reason behind my choice that this would be the winner is because it offers a little bit of rigidity. It offers pretty good scratch protection, but overall it has a nice thin profile that fits the phone very, very well. And I really like that because, again, the integrity of how this phone was designed and the time that went into it, I appreciate it, and I don't want to make it any bigger and bulky than I have to, especially going in my pocket. The runner-up, close runner-up, the 1A is the leather case from Apple, which is the case that I'm currently wearing right now. And I really like that case because, again, very minimalistic, nice fitting case, nice feeling case. It just screams executive. So if you want something that does scream that, this is your case. And like I said, I'm wearing it right now. Really like it. It looks really good with the blackface iPhone, and I love the way that the Apple is embossed on the back. And I'm not worried about, again, the phone bending, and I don't drop my phone much, so I'm not necessarily worried about that either. These other cases are fine, and you know, at the end of the day, it ultimately comes down to what kind of a user you are. If you drop your phone a lot, but you don't want an OtterBox, I would go with the Tough Armor. It's going to give you great protection, good looks. You can get these second part on all these Spigen cases, by the way, in different colors. You can also get the metal ring on the Neo Hybrid, and I believe on the Varus Iron Shield in a different color as well. So you do have color options. These are just the colors that I picked. If you are prone to dropping, this case will not let you down. Comfortable, adds a kickstand, very resourceful, very nice case to have, and not very heavy. Same thing can be said of the Slim Armor or the Platinum. They give you really good coverage, and these cases do as well. But if you were to drop it with either of these metal bands, you would scrape it up really good, and you probably wouldn't want to wear that case anymore. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Funny thing about it is that I'm going to keep these cases because my nephew has an iPhone 6 Plus as well, and I'm going to allow him to pick and change them out as he needs to. I may give one or two away in a video moving forward, but I'm actually going to be going caseless real soon because I'm just going to be rocking a glass screen protector and the slick wrap body wrap for the phone, just to get rid of the scratch issue that may or may not occur, so that I can actually enjoy the phone the way I feel it was meant to be enjoyed. That'll be the next step for me. I'll definitely do a video for you guys as I actually go through and install it, because I think you'll appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section which one of these cases you liked and why. I tried to be thorough, so this video is definitely gonna be long, and I'm sorry about that, but I hope there's some really good information in it that you guys could use, especially if you're out there trying to buy a case or two. Definitely recommend Spigen. The Varus case, if you can get it, is really good. They also make another case called the Thor, which I think will work for you. The only hindrance again here is that you might lose a bar of signal, which could or could not be an issue for you. And if you just want to look like a hipster or cool guy like me, go with this case. Pay, you know, 50, 60 bucks. It's a good option. They also have these in non-leather as well for about 30 bucks, I believe, which is not a bad case option if you want a minimal case so that you can get a nice good fit on the phone and kind of enjoy it the way it was meant to be enjoyed. I've rambled on enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out of here. Have a good one.